Before we start off with today's video, if you guys would like to join the Discord server, link will be in the description below and it will also be in that pinned comment. If it has been more than 7 days, please use the latest videos, that's one where the links will be working, and of course I'd love to have you on this channel as well, so make sure to subscribe with that bell on so you don't miss any of the videos and anything else like community section polls, which are every day, and the shorts. But yeah, let's get into today's video. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are here with the Mazda 2, the Mark II version known as the DE. Funny because my first name starts with DE. But anyway, so this is the second generation of Mazda's small hatchback known as the 2, or the Demio, as it's known in some other markets, or it might just be a Japanese market, I'm not sure. But if you don't know what the first one was, it was the boxy MPV looking one, and the third one, well, that's similar shape but not, and it's been going on for what, 9 years, 10 years now at this point, which is a little bit long for a generation of car, but you know, it's here to stay. But anyway, this is the second generation one, so really there's not really much else to it besides it's the small class that rivals the Fiesta and the Corsa and the Polo and all of that. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at it and see how the car fares. So yeah, besides all of that, let's really get into the review itself. Okay, so when it comes to the outside, the pre-facelift, you know what, completely fine by me. The grille was completely fine, so were the lights and everything else really. The overall shape, it was nothing exciting, but it was nothing bad at the same time. Everything was nicely placed out and they were all nice shapes, and you know, it wasn't disfigured or anything like that. The facelift didn't change much. Now one thing you'll notice is the grille, the top bit where the Mazda is. On the pre-facelift, you didn't get those on the base models, you got it on the higher models. On the facelift, I don't know if the trim's changed, but I noticed a lot of them are like this, otherwise they'd be the same as the one in the previous photo. And then you got the main grille itself, which is just a big happy smiley face, like this, like you see on the Mazda 3 and the MX-5 of the time. Obviously that was Mazda's signature thing, I guess, smiley grille face. And the fog light area had also changed slightly, and I think the actual designs within the lights have changed, but the actual shape of the glass hasn't. So it's just very mild, you know, it didn't really need much. The side profile, well, don't forget there was a 3-door and a 5-door. The 3-door doesn't look as good as the 5-door, but I'll show you that after. So I don't think it looks proportionally right, and the wheels also look a tad small for the size of car. I just feel like it's a bit unproportionate. The 5-door does look a lot better as it's elongated, so it looks a bit less squashed, but I still feel like the wheels are a bit too small and the overall shape just isn't for me. But that's just me, I'm probably the only person who thinks that the side profile of this car is a bit odd, or off, I should say. The rear, like the pre-facelift and the facelift, it never really changed much, but the overall design was completely fine. So you got normal lights and you got Mazda badge with the bit of bumper really and the fog lights and all of that, and the overall shape where it comes down is completely fine as well. I have nothing wrong to say about that. The facelift, I can't actually see much, if any, difference. So I mean, if you do notice a difference, let me know in the comments, because I might actually be missing something here. But since I can't see anything, I can say that the shape is overall the same, and you know, there's nothing completely wrong with it really. When it comes to the inside, so this is the inside, and first thing you'll note is where the gear lever is. Now this is like what you find on, say, like the Mark I Toyota RS, which is the Toyota Corolla effectively, and the, was it the 8th or 7th generation of Honda Civic, you know, the 2000, like the 2000 to 2005-6 hatchback version, that one, where you'd see it like that, and sort of like vans as well. But it does mean that shifting is a lot easier because of where it is placed, so obviously it does make it slightly more of a driver's car there. And because that the gear lever is quite high as well, and not down here where you can see a cup holder, actually a circle one, apparently the themes is circles in this car, and you can see it everywhere, but I'll get onto that in a second. The controls are actually, you know, relatively high up. So obviously, because you've got gear lever here, the rest has to be on top. And so that means you don't have to look so far down to see much at all, really, which is a good thing. The overall design is a bit plain. I have heard that on the facelift they did change the material slightly to give it a less plasticky, cheap fit feeling. So that's obviously good. But as you can see with the circles, so where do I begin? Right, speakers, circle. The air vents, circle. The thing in the middle for the radio, circle. Climate controls, circle. Gear lever knob, circle. Cup holder, circle. Gauges are actually all circular. The fuel cluster and the digital gauge thing it's a circle, but the actual gauges themselves aren't a circle. Steering wheel obviously circle. So you can see the theme here of circles. When it comes to the performance, so for the pre-facelift and the facelift version, you got petrol and diesel options. So for the petrol, you got a 1.3 litre, which had 73 horsepower, but then you got one that had 82/84 horsepower. Now, one was for the pre-facelift, one for the facelift. I think the facelifted one had slightly down power, so that would be the 82, and the pre-facelift would be 84. And then you got a 1.5 litre engine, which is obviously a more powerful option with 101 brake horsepower. Now for diesel, you got a 1.4 litre. Now I believe this is the Ford Peugeot units that they use. Either way, that had 67 horsepower. You also got a 1.6, which is Mazda's own, that had 88 horsepower on the pre-facelift, but 93 on the facelift. Now I do believe the 1.4 didn't stay for the facelift, I think. But anyway, so what we're going to do is, because there's obviously, you know, petrol is a very popular option, I'm going to choose one 1.3 and one 1.5. But I'm going to choose one diesel, as diesel isn't the most popular option. So for the 1.3, I chose the 82 horsepower one. This is the facelifted one, because remember, the pre-facelift had 2 more brake horsepower. So anyway, inline 4-cylinder, and all these engines, the petrol ones, were naturally aspirated. So 82 horsepower, like I said, but 90 pound-feet of torque. It was front-wheel drive, and it did weigh thereabouts about 1,035 kilograms, and it came with a 5-speed manual gearbox. I'll bring on to automatics in one moment. 0 to 60 was 13.2 seconds, so that was sort of alright for what kind of car this was, really. And the top speed was 106 miles an hour. So if you're going around town, frankly, even the lower powered 1.3 or even this one is perfectly fine for around town, or even just a new driver. Now the 1.5, I wanted to bring this in especially because I wanted to talk about the automatic option with it. So 1.5 litre inline 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated as usual, 101 horsepower, but the same in torque. Front wheel drive again. Weight is 1,035 kilograms like before, but unfortunately I can't find the automatic weight. Gearbox is a 5-speed manual, but you could also get a 4-speed automatic. I think, according to Wikipedia, it's a Ford automatic unit. That's what Wiki says anyway. Now I wanted to bring this up because this is the only engine throughout the whole Mazda 2 range that has an automatic option. None of the 1.3s or the diesels had it. So if you wanted an automatic, you had to get this one. So 0 to 60 for the manual was 10.4 seconds, but had been pretty much upped to a second with the automatic. Top speed was 117 miles an hour, which is, for the manual anyway, that's actually, you know, quite a high top speed for a small little car that isn't actually a hot hatch. But for the automatic, it had dropped significantly, actually. I should say, like 12, is that 12? Yeah, 12 miles an hour. Eesh. That's what taking away one gear does for you, I guess. But it is at 105 miles an hour. Now, I chose the 1.4 litre diesel. Now, this is the pre-facelift one. Like I said, I don't think it made it to the facelift. So this one was a 1.4 inline 4-cylinder with a turbo, 67 horsepower and 118 pound-feet of torque. Front wheel drive again. Now weight, while looking around, it's 1,045 kilograms / 1,055 kilograms. Gearbox is a 5-speed manual. 0 to 60 is 15 seconds on the dot, and top speed is 101 miles an hour. So quite a lot of 101s in this whole Mazda 2 range. But either way, even if you are in town, this 1.4, it would do you the trick. I don't know about the reliability of the 1.4 Ford Peugeot unit compared to Mazda's own unit, but if you'd like to go for this, that's completely fine by me. It just won't be ULEZ compliant if you live in London. None of these diesels will be, but the petrols will be. When it comes to practicality, the boot was 250 litres big, and that is, well, on the smallish average size of this class of car. A Fiesta has 45 litres more, and we'll speak about the Fiesta in a bit. Now, average is obviously better than smaller than usual, which is, you know, fine, but according to some reviews it had a very high load lip, which means getting stuff in and out was a bit tricky. So I know the space is okay for what it is, but when you add to the fact that it's got a high load lip, which makes it a bit worse to put stuff in there. The boot does look a bit narrow, but that just might be me. Yeah, it looks like me. It looks like it just be me thinking this. But anyway, with a combination of that, it's not the best boot in its class. The rear seats though, that was an up point. So obviously for the 3-door, legroom was going to be tighter than the 5-door, but it was still okay for carrying passengers for some amount of time, even if they were tall. Then obviously the 5-door, that would obviously be better because it was longer. And because the actual back of the car had a tall body, the headroom was actually quite decent as well for the class of car this is in. So if you got tall people, if you regularly carry tall people I should say, obviously you get the 5-door, mainly for the legroom purpose because headroom would still be the same, but overall it was a decent place to be in the back seat. Handling and comfort. So we will go for comfort. I don't know why I'm waving my hands. So on the pre-facelift, the ride was a little bit harsh for what kind of car this was. So that's obviously not the best thing for passengers. However, it was improved in the facelift version. So in the facelift it obviously rode decently very well actually. When I say harsh on the pre-facelift, I don't mean it was terrible, but it would be, you know, a bit rough, especially compared to rivals and the facelifted version. So if you do want a comfortable, very comfortable one, get the facelift. And the handling, well, this car on the Mark 7 Fiesta. On Wikipedia it will say the Mark 6, but don't trust that. There's 8 generations as far as I'm concerned of Ford Fiesta. So this was based on the Mark 7 one, and obviously the Fiesta is known for being a well-handling car, as well as a lot of Fords are known for. So obviously because it shares those underpinnings, it's obviously going to be a good handling car. And there was plenty of grip, body roll was kept to a certain extent, and the steering gave enough feedback and was responsive enough as well, with plenty of grip, and it would be confident enough in the corners if you went on a B road. So overall I'd say pretty decent car for what it was. Obviously Fiesta is probably going to be a bit better because Ford are going to change stuff probably, but you get the whole premise of it. Is there anything else worth noting? Not really, besides the fact that I said it's the 2nd generation and it's based on the Ford Fiesta and it's also known as the Demio. I pretty much have nothing else to say because I pretty much said it all before. But yeah. What is the verdict? So the pros are the rear and the front of the exterior are modest, the looks are modest. The interior is an alright design, is a bit, like I said, cheap in the first bit. Something I didn't say was like, you know, even though it's got lots of circles, it does look a bit bland-ish. Not bland, bland-ish, sort of. There is a decent engine range for you to go for. The rear head and legroom was decent, obviously the 5-door would be better for that. The handling was quite good because it was based on the Fiesta, and the ride quality on the facelift was good. However, the ride quality on the pre-facelift was not good. Well, I wouldn't say it was not good, it wasn't the best. The boot size plus the load lip together make it a not so great practical boot. And the side profile, but it's just me, so that's why I put it in brackets. But anyway, that does conclude the Mazda 2 Mark II, known as the DE, which I say known as me. If you want me to review a car, then you can let me know in the comments below. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video for whatever car that turns out to be. Peace.